So I won't finish
a
waxing.
place right near Tucson, I can't think of the name anymore. We had a radar station down there.
Okay.
And anyway, we started moving north. Kimpo Air Base was where we stationed the last time with the radar.
Right.
And we stayed there till I got out, I guess. And then my wife and I went to Japan and lived there for 2 years working. And I went to Korea. Went to all the places I knew in Korea, and I met the people that I knew.
Right.
In
Were you still in the Air Force when you went back?
no,
Were you,
no, I went to
civilian contractor.
Yeah, and I'm working for the government, and when I first went to Korea, there's a town there. There was a doctor's office, a hospital, or a doctor's office, I think, there. And I met this lady, and she had a couple kids, and they were on one side of the mountain, and then I had our houseboy lived on the other side of the mountain,
Okay.
and they were relatives, so I got to know them all. And then when I went back to Korea, when I was living in Japan,
Right.
I got to Korea, I went back to see them, and the only one I recognized was the grandmother. She still looked the same, smoking a little pipe, but that's the only one I remember, visually remember.
Right.
I knew who they were. I met them all again, and the one was a wife of a doctor. That's the one that had the hospital, the hospital there.
Okay.
Well, he moved down the road when I got back, come over from Japan. He had moved down the road and built another building, and that was his doctor's office.
Okay.
And that was just down the road from where they originally lived, and I assume they still live, or she lived there anyway. I know because I saw him.
Right.
But, that was interesting.
Now, that was near Busan, or outside of Busan?
No, that was
That was near Kimpo Air Force Base.
Kimpo
This
Air
is
Base.
freaking rain is right there. Where we are. The whole rest of the state, there ain't no rain.
The Kimpo Air Base is where I was there
I
most
think that's
of the
I think
time.
that's still.
Could
They're still
be.
using it now. I think I've heard that name before. I haven't been there, but I've heard that name.
Well, I went there back in, when did I go overseas? We went to Japan, and we went 64, 63 or 4. We went to Japan. We went to
64.
64. We went to Japan, and then I went over during 64, and that's when I met all the people again. So that was from 50 something to 64, 10 years difference. And when I went there, this lady had 2 little girls, but one was, two kids, and one turned out to be a girl and one was a boy, but I thought they were both girls. And I told my mother, and my mother sent me a little dress
Oh, really?
for
Each one of them?
for one of them.
Okay.
And I found out in the meantime that one was a little girl. The little girl was a boy. It was a little girl, but I thought it was a boy.
Okay.
And she sent me a pair of shorts and a T-shirt or something for the little girl, and a pretty little fluffy dress for the older girl.
Right.
And anyway, I gave them that one year, and I went back to see them, and those girls were teenagers or something close to teenagers, and they were writing beautiful script in English. When I was talking to them, they were writing it down.
Wow.
So.
At least you're competitive.
My dog getting wet?
Huh?
My dog getting wet?
It's not
Is he
raining
outside?
down there. It's just raining right
It's not
now.
raining down there. His dog is out. He, you know,
I just pulled
his
up the
life
radar
stops
and
when he's not with the
it's
dog.
only raining
So
right here.
I had to tell him he couldn't be with the dog today. The dog will be fine. He's got lots of trees to keep the dog from getting wet. Dog's fine.
Yeah.
The dog needs her space sometimes. You smother her.
See, this is where we are, and that's the rain right there.
I can't see
What kind
it.
of dog is it?
It's the whole rest of the state. There's
She's
no
like
rain.
a Sheltie
Shelby
mix.
mix.
Shelby mix.
We rescued her for them, for my mom. My mom wanted her years ago. She wanted a dog, and Dad said, okay. So we rode up to West Virginia, right, and picked up that dog. Remember the day?
Well, they were, yeah, and they had been a whole
Litter.
litter
Okay.
left in the mountains,
Okay.
or the foothills of the mountains.
Right.
And this, whoever it was, rescued a whole bunch, and they had put this one out, gave it to a guy who put her on an empty farmhouse,
Oh, jeez.
and we ended up coming back, and then that's the one, when Kathy squatted, that was the dog ran to her, so that's the one we took,
Oh, okay.
of the bunch that they had there.
And Mom named her after all of our middle names. My middle name, Mom's middle name, and all my sister-in-law's middle names. So it was Lady Evelyn, which is mine, Evelyn Elizabeth Ann, I think is what it was. Evelyn Elizabeth Ann, because 3 of my sister-in-laws were Ann, middle name. So Evelyn Elizabeth Ann. Yeah, Mom was Elizabeth. Yep. But we just call her Lady, right?
Yeah,
Or whatever. You don't really have to call her. She just shows up.
yeah.
Yeah. She's fat.
Yeah, the cars. I'm like,
Yeah. Right before Mom died, she ran over her foot with the car because the lady runs up to the car. Right?
Jane didn't remember how she did it, whatever it was.
But it wasn't real bad. I mean, just made her limp a little bit. She's better now.